Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Another more contagious variant of the coronavirus is discovered here in Michigan, where the first case is and what you need to know about it. After a delay, jury selection resumes in the murder trial of Derek Chauvin. He is the former officer accused of killing George Floyd. Stay tuned for the report from the Minneapolis courthouse where it's all happening. Plus, former Governor Rick Snyder's Flint water case is back in court, why the defense is calling for the case to be dismissed. We do want to get you to breaking news this noon. No charges will be filed against a Shelby Township police officer after a deadly shooting that took place back in 2018. The Attorney General's office determined that there was not enough evidence to charge Officer Jason Zuck with the death of Conwer Beer Molly. The investigation revealed that Molly refused to comply with 70 police orders to show his hands, and he told officers he had a gun. When it got out of his mother's stolen car, he lunged at officers who then shot him. Attorney General Nussel's office says that Officer Zuck fired in self-defense.
Mr. Molly's continued and prolonged refusal to comply with police commands, coupled with his statement to officers indicating he had a weapon, formed a reasonable basis for Officer Zuck to believe Mr. Molly posed a threat of serious bodily harm or death to himself and other officers on the scene when he reached for his...
The Attorney General also announced charges against a Lowell police officer in connection to a chase and shooting in Iona County last year. Officer Jason Diaz faces several charges, including assault after firing at a car and hitting the passenger in the head. Now to the motion hearing that is held for former Governor Rick Snyder's Flint water case. The former governor is charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of willful neglect of duty. Let's get to Rod Maloney this noon with a look at what happened in the courtroom this morning. Rod, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Rhonda. You know, this case went about an hour and a half, and one of the things that's remarkable about that, this is a misdemeanor case. And one of the things that the defense is saying is that the case should not be tried in Genesee County because the governor operated out of Lansing, and they want the case dismissed. And if they want to refile it, that they should refile it in Ingham County, which is where the governor's office is located. It was a long hearing. It was a grand discussion about venue and who has the opportunity to decide the venue. Prosecution saying that the one-person grand jury, it's a federal judge who made the call on this charge against the governor, got to pick the venue. That is not what the defense believes, and in fact, they brought in Governor Whitmer as part of that discussion.
If we had a governor who was sitting in her office in Lansing during COVID, and she was allegedly not supervising COVID-19 response of her department heads in Detroit area nursing homes, could a Wayne County judge force her to inquire into the performance or supervise her subordinate officers? No.
That he believes that no governor should have to face these kinds of charges, and especially in this fashion. And so he is waiting for Judge William Crawford to make a ruling on this. The judge said that he wasn't going to rule until probably this time next week. He said it would take about 7 days to make the call. But the prosecution is saying, look, the grand jury made this case. The grand jury had the right to make this case, and that's the venue it should be in. And so we'll find out what the judge has to say in the next week. Reporting live, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right. Thank you, Rod. Thanks for bringing us up to speed. Jury selection has started again in the murder trial of Derek Chauvin after procedural delays occurred on Monday. Chauvin is the former Minneapolis police officer accused of killing George Floyd. Floyd's death set off a wave of protests all across the country, and extra security is in place at the Minneapolis courthouse. Jay Gray is outside of that courthouse with what we're learning about this high-profile case.
We are just outside the Hennepin County Courthouse. I want to give you an update of what's going on right now. After a delay yesterday, jury selection is moving forward right now. The judge dealing with some motions early in the courtroom and then calling in potential jurors, and they have started the selection process. Of course, yesterday that was all shut down over a legal tug of war, if you will, a back and forth over whether a third charge should be added to this case, and that's third-degree murder. It was originally a part of the case. It was removed by the judge, and now the prosecution pushing to get it reinstated, while Derek Chauvin's team is saying that it's not applicable in this case. There's been no decision on that. We haven't heard from the appellate court at this point, but the judge in the case saying that we've got to move forward, and again, beginning jury selection today. Yesterday, we saw hundreds of people outside of the courthouse carrying banners and placards, pictures of George Floyd, and demanding justice here. It's been quiet to this point so far. Security still in place here, though. You see the chain link fence that surrounds the courthouse behind me, and you've still got a lot of police and federal agents on the ground here. That's the latest right now here in Minneapolis. I'm Jay Gray. Back to you.
All right, Jay, thank you. We do want to turn now to the coronavirus here in the state and across the country. First off, the United States has passed 29,042,000 coronavirus cases, and more than 526,000 people have died from the virus. These are the very latest statistics from Johns Hopkins University's database. Closer to home, we expect an update on the state number of cases this afternoon for a single day. Meanwhile, the more contagious South African strain of the coronavirus has now been detected in a child in Michigan. The first confirmed case of that B1351 variant was found west of Washtenaw County in Jackson County. Its arrival, no surprise to the science and medical community, although troubling.
Whenever you see a couple of cases, you can be darn sure you're going to see a lot more.
That was Dr. Anthony Fauci. Early studies show that the vaccines don't work as well on the new strain, but they are still highly effective in protecting from serious illness, hospitalization, and death. Speaking of the vaccine, tonight during his State of the City address, Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan is expected to announce a new Johnson & Johnson vaccine clinic opening up in the city of Detroit, and much more. So be sure to watch his address right here on Local 4 and click on Detroit.com. Our live coverage starts at 7 p.m. tonight. The House of Representatives is expected to issue a final vote on the nearly $2 trillion COVID relief bill sometime today. Once the bill is signed by President Biden, stimulus payments could go out within the next 2 weeks. The bill passed by the Senate on Saturday, right there along party lines. It calls for $1,400 in direct payments for most Americans, extends $300 a week federal unemployment benefits into September, and gives money to state and local governments. Let's talk about the weather. Following a gorgeous day yesterday with temperatures in the mid-60s, as we take a live look outside, a little cloud cover out there from our sky cam. Let's check in with Brandon on what the rest of the day looks like.
Not quite as warm, but not quite as windy. And I'll tell you, absent rain, storms, snow, anything like that, the 2 days are both enjoyable in their own way. Tuesday, noontime temperatures. Notice Metro Airport Romulus, Ann Arbor, and Adrian, all inland locations, 2 to 4 degrees warmer than Port Huron on the water. A little southeast wind is keeping East Siders just a skosh on the cooler side today, but still 52 now to 56 at 2 p.m. and a high of 58 degrees. Certainly could see some inland locations hitting 60. And where do we go from here, Rhonda? We're going to keep the warmer air around, still in search for our first March storm, but it's coming into view. Coming up.
All right, Brandon, we'll see you here in a few. Meanwhile, still to come after Harry and Meghan's bombshell interview with Oprah, Buckingham Palace is now under pressure to respond to the allegations of racism within the highest echelons of the royal family. What we're learning after the break. And we are following breaking news as well. Before we go to break, this is Detroit's West Side, the scene right now where police are investigating a deadly shooting in the area of Braille and Orange Lawn. We're told a 26-year-old woman died from her injuries. Police have not released her identity or what may have led up to the shooting.